Hello, everyone. So, I'm tuning in right now to speak about my work with the wounded little girl, the beliefs that I came across, like the feelings I came across, the meanings she gave to things. And I'm also going to speak about how that is related to the womb and the womb's role in all of that, and the womb's power in all of that, and how being born, like being created and born from unhealed wombs, has kind of shaped this world in the way that it's shaped, and how the lack of feminine essence and feminine energy has been supporting all of the wounds and the pain and the patterns and the beliefs and all of that. So I have written some things down because there's so much I want to say and I tend to forget. So this is the first time I actually write things down, because usually I just speak from what's coming up for me. But I really wanted to have some of these things said. So I've been working with my inner child for years, like 3 years maybe. And it's beautifully rewarding work, and it's such beautiful work to tune into this little girl and all of her pains and dreams and hopes and wounds and beliefs. And it can be really challenging sometimes, but it's such beautiful work. And I've been having some like beliefs and patterns resurfacing, and when they are resurfacing I try to like consciously work with them as they are coming up, when I am able to do that in like from a centered place. And today, as I was doing my morning tapping and like just addressing what is going on, I came across this beliefs that I've had, and it like the pain I felt because of that was so deep. Like tuning into this little girl and what belief she took on and what she really believed about herself so deeply. And like this belief that being a woman is painful, that being a woman is a sacrifice, that you have to sacrifice yourself, that you have to abandon yourself, that being a woman for that little girl felt like pain, like all she saw in her surroundings felt so painful, like giving up their dreams and constantly be pushing down their emotions and feelings and their truths, and be like feeling like they are not good enough. And all of this, as a little girl, I picked up on from the women around me, and how I took on this belief that being a woman is pain, being a woman is painful and hard. And how this little girl inside of me just decided that she never wants to grow up, she never wants to be a woman, she never wants to experience those things that the women around me experienced. And how by that she took on a much more masculine role, a masculine energy to protect herself, because she saw feminine energy as this painful energy. So that was like a really big thing. I've been looking into this before, but now I really felt it like in my body, and I really connected with this little girl and all this that she took on. And as I was tapping, I was feeling how all of that is releasing and like kind of letting go. And I began to see it in a new way, and just hugging her and being with her and feeling her and allowing her to feel what she is feeling and being with those wounds. And I felt like that is important to talk about, because so many women are carrying this within them and they don't have the words for it, or they don't know how to express it, or they feel ashamed to express it, or they feel like they want to be understood. And in so many women this is so like so deep in the unconscious subconscious that it's not a conscious thing. It's just these beliefs and these patterns and these wounds subconsciously run in their lives, and their decisions and the way they show up for themselves. And we really need to change that story. We really need to change that story as women, that being a woman is painful, that being a woman means sacrificing, because so many of us saw our mothers and grandmothers and the women around us, like the aunties and sisters, and all of it, we saw how they pushed everything, like all their needs and all their dreams, to the side, and how they just did everything for everybody else, and how they just sacrificed themselves. And of course, as little girls, this becomes like ingrained into our psyche. It's like we do as we see, and because nobody's showing us another way, that's how we begin to operate in the world. That's how we begin to see ourselves, because as children we just take on what we see and what we feel. We are like the sponges who just take everything in. And it's up to each and every woman to heal this within herself, and to see those wounds and those patterns and those beliefs and those feelings in herself, and heal that in herself. And that doesn't mean that we have to do it alone and like behind closed doors, but it's our own journey, and it will be different for everyone. So yeah, and as children we also give meaning to events that isn't really there. Like maybe if our mother got very angry at us and she yelled at us, we believe like, oh, there's something wrong with me, or I am wrong, or I did something wrong, and we feel shame and guilt, or we feel sadness or anger, or whatever we feel. We take it personally. But what was really going on is that mommy was just really tired, maybe, or she had a really bad day, or some wound of hers was triggered and she didn't know how to process it and be with it, so she took it out on you, and you take on this meaning that there's something wrong with you, or that you're not good enough, or whatever meaning you gave to that event. Or like if your dad was very busy, then maybe you have this distrust in of the masculine and of men, and you feel like men are not showing up for you, and they are not giving you the attention and affection that you need, because you gave this meaning by your dad's distance, that there's something wrong with you, and that's how men relate to you. So you keep repeating that pattern, you keep going into those wounds until they are healed and looked at and processed. So if your dad said like close the door and said I can talk right now, you took it as a personal thing, whereas actually he was busy and he didn't know how to process his stuff. So as we begin to uncover these things, we also begin to see our parents for what they truly were, and we begin to see how their wounds affected them, and we begin to have more compassion for them as well, because like they didn't know any better, and we begin to take away the meaning that we gave to those things from ourselves, so that it's not a personal thing, so that it doesn't come from this wounded little girl, wounded little boy. And we begin to see things from a higher, like a more true perspective, a perspective of reality, and not a perspective of the wound. So we don't see from the lens of the wound. I say usually that like we all have these glasses of our wounds that we see through, until we realize that we are carrying glasses, and we start to uncover and like take away and healing our sight. And then I don't mean healing our eyes, I mean healing our inner sight, our inner sense, our feeling, our inner knowing. So that's a little bit about what I had to say about that. And there are many like collective wounds that little girls take on. Like it's very subtle, but also very strong. This idea that girls are worse than boys, and that feminine, and this goes for men and women, like that the feminine qualities are worse than masculine qualities. And this is very deeply ingrained because it's subtly happening like systematically during our childhood, how we are seeing how these feminine qualities are put down and the masculine are rising up. And because as women we are usually more, because this is just a generalization, but we are usually more in tune with the feminine qualities, we take it as there's something wrong with me, you know, or I am shameful, or I am wrong, or anything in that sense. So this is like, it's both a personal wound and a collective wound of little girls, like this deep wound. And how that is related to the womb, and yeah, just the womb overall. All life is created from a womb. You came from a womb. You were growing and expanding and preparing yourself for life in a womb, in your mother's womb. And the states and the feelings and the wounds that your mother had, you take on because you are in such deep connection with your mother. You are in such deep, like you're growing inside of her. So what is going on in her cells goes into your cells, and like all the emotions and your energy field is so connected to hers. So everything that is going on within her is stored in you as well. And it's like generations of, it's up to 7 generations, I think, of emotional and like all kinds of wounds and programming that are stored in you throughout the womb. And as I said, all life comes from wombs. And when wombs are unhealed, all of that is passed on from generation to generation. And healing our wombs is healing the world, because our wombs, they are like this black hole that are taking everything in, you know, it's like absorbing everything. And it's like this twin of the subconscious. So all of your wounds and pains and fears and shame and guilt and all of that which are you're feeling is stored in your womb. And men have an energetic womb as well, so it's not just for women, but it's much more powerful for women because we do have a physical womb. But as I said, not like it's just not for women. And even if you had your womb removed, you still have access to this beautiful place. Like it's never taken away from you in that way. You always have an energetic womb that you're connected with, that you're connected with the earth womb and the cosmic womb, and like you're always connected to that space. So all life, like in the way, like in the train of thought, or I don't know how to even express it, that I like the belief system or the way that I express what is coming through my soul, how I see the world and creation, is that we all came from these wombs, and that we come from this cosmical womb that is birthing all life. And it's not that she's a woman, it's both masculine and feminine. It's not like God or source or universe, whatever you call it, is female or male. That's just like, we've been playing that game for way too long. It's both of them. It's this creation energy. And I believe that it's a womb. It's a womb that is birthing all life, this energy that is birthing all life. From this dark womb, from this darkness, all life is born. Light comes and life is born. And I believe that there is a cosmical womb and then earth womb and then your womb, and you're connected in this womb circle. So in the womb, all is stored, and in the womb, you have access to those deepest places of pain and like feeling, and also dreams and hopes and desires. Like your heart is this beautiful place as well, but your womb is this very deep connection to all of that. She's like this portal to the most essential darkness from which life, this like void from which all life comes, where all life begins. So if you think about the soil, it's this dark soil, this dark place where you would think that nothing would grow because it's dark. And then everything grows from this darkness with the light that comes, you know? So it's like interconnected. You need both the darkness and the light, and you need both the coldness and the warmth. So that's a little bit about how the womb is connected, because she stores all of it. She stores all of that. And in your womb is, you have all of these beliefs, you have all of these things stored inside of her. And because of that, because of all those layers, because of all those layers of wounds and pains and illusions and beliefs and all of that, you don't have access to the like creation energy that is within your womb, because your womb is a place of creating and birthing and feeling pleasure and wisdom, and there are so many things that are blocking that because of all the wounds and unprocessed things and traumas and wounds, that you don't really have access to all the greatness that is your womb. And as you begin to work with your womb, connect with your womb, you begin to uncover those deeper places. You begin to go into the depths, like it's like a journey through different underworlds, and like how you see these different archetypal patterns that you have, and the shadow energies and also light energies that are in the shadow because you believe that they are not acceptable. Maybe like courage, you weren't allowed to be courageous and bold, so you push that down, and that is stored like within your psyche and within your womb. So your womb is like your psyche, like this dark space where all of this is going on. And healing like the feminine throne, so you have the crown and then you have the throne, and you can't have, like, you can have a great connection with the crown, but if you haven't worked with your throne, that won't do much, because what's coming through the crown will be blocked by all of that is going on in the throne. Because to manifest and really embody and put into, like, create and put into being what is coming through your crown doesn't have the space to do so if you have a lot of shame and fear and guilt and pain and wounds in the throne. So the throne is like all of, like, down your legs, your feet, your groin, your ass, your womb, like all of that is the throne. And if you haven't done healing work there, and you haven't worked through like this primal, very primal and very deeply engraved things and wounds and fears and yeah, these deep things that are going on, they will be blocking you. And I'm not saying that you need to be perfect in this and all needs to be cleared, and like, and unless you do this you won't ever get anything you want or you won't be able to manifest. I'm not trying to scare you into anything like that. I'm just saying that when you are in a place of working with that and connecting with that and cleansing that and be integrating like what is true and real, and integrating the love of the mother and the universe and all of that, and integrating your shadow, integrating your light, as you're doing all of that, and as you're cleaning out your womb and all the things that are out of date, that begins to uncover more and more and more of your true essence and your potential and your creations and all of that. So creating with your womb and with your heart and with your soul is this beautiful, like this thing that we all long for, this beautiful flow of being in flow with the universe, with life, with source. And we need to do the inner work and the healing work to come into that flow, because we have so many things blocking that flow. We have so many things really blocking that flow, really, like we are afraid of life many times, and that is all stored in the womb. So healing all of that, healing the throne, will give you a greater connection to your soul, because you will be in an embodied state of your soul, in an embodied state of your essence, and not just like, having all those energies up here, but you ground them and you take them down and you put them into being here and now. So doing healing work with your throne is like key for spiritual embodiment, for embodiment as a whole. And if you want to go deeper with that, if you want to explore more of that, reach out to me and we can work out a way to work with this. We can see what you need and what you feel. This is work that I'm doing on myself all the time. This is work that I'm very passionate about. This is work that has changed so much. This is work that led to me sitting here and saying all of these things and speaking what is true to me, even though I can feel fear or something like that, and doing what I love and doing what I'm passionate about. I wouldn't be able to do that if I haven't done all this work, because I was extremely insecure and extremely self-critical, and I still can be, but now it's not stopping me, and I'm working through all of that. And I didn't feel any worth whatsoever, like most of my life. So doing all of this work and being present with all these fears and seeing like I have this fear of living, I have a fear of life, like really a fear of being alive. Like I had this really deep wound and belief that life is pain. So working through that is what allowed me to sit here and talk to you and share myself and allow more love and compassion and connection into my life. Like the connection I have experienced and the love I have experienced and all of that which I have experienced has been made possible through this work. So this work is so dear to my heart and to my soul. And what more do I have written down here? Okay, so now I'm going to give you like a practice or a way to tuning in, a way of beginning to explore. And it's really like easy, it's really simple. It doesn't have to be like our minds always make things so much more harder that they need to be. Like, yes, we are very complex and there are layers and stuff like that, but we can begin in a very simple and gentle way. So, as I said, gentle. Be gentle with yourself. Like, develop this relationship of self-love. So, if you feel like that's impossible and you feel like you can't love anything about yourself, doing this deeper work will just traumatize you even more. So beginning with loving yourself first will give you like a base to go into those deeper places. And sometimes life will just throw you into those deeper places anyhow. So it's not always ideal, but if you can find this relationship with yourself, this loving relationship with yourself, and if it feels really hard, find one thing about yourself that you can love the hell out of. And when you have that, when you have a start with that, it's going to be easier to go deeper and deeper. But something that you can do to start connecting with your womb, to start developing a relationship, to start doing some more throne work, is every day, at some point during your day, maybe as you wake up or as you're going to bed or whatever feels right and true to you, just lay down or sit down, and preferably in nature because this will connect you even more, and breathe with your womb. Put your hands on your womb, and like if you're a man, you can do this as well, and your like energetic womb space is where the physical womb is, like your second chakra. So put your hands there and breathe into that space, like send breath into that space and feel into what's going on. Allow yourself to feel what is going on in your womb. And sometimes our wombs are so numbed out that we don't feel anything. And sometimes we get bored, and sometimes we think it's ridiculous or silly, or we judge it, or all of that. So allow yourself to be in that process with whatever is rising up, and be with it. Allow it. Like, even if you don't feel anything, even if you get bored, even if it feels pointless, keep coming back to it. Keep showing up for yourself. Just keep showing up for yourself, and keep showing up however you are. Like, you don't have to be a certain way to be worthy of showing up for yourself, you know? So gently begin to connect with your womb, begin to breathe into her, you can talk with her, you can put your hands there and just feel the pulse, because she has this pulse, and you can lay on the ground and connect your womb, see how like this why can't I find the word, this rope, let's say rope, because I can't find any other word. So see this rope, or this rope going from your womb to the earth womb, and how you're connected to that womb, and how she is supporting you in your process, and feel how you're breathing into the earth womb and connecting to the earth, and connecting your womb to the earth, and how that is connecting you more and more and grounding you more and more. So that are the things that you can start to do to connect to yourself, and also be open to everything that is arising, to any shame, any fear, any pain, any wounds, any patterns. If you need to cry, if you need to scream, if you need to shake, like whatever is coming up for you, trust that. Trust your body. People have been telling you probably all your life to not trust yourself, to doubt yourself, to not trust your body, to be anything but human. So really trust yourself, like really trust yourself with the process that is yours, with what is going on inside of you. So connecting to the earth womb will also help you connect into the cosmical womb, to the like cosmical mother, this loving mother. And connecting with her will also help you to go into these deeper places from a place of love, because like the cosmical womb is the earth. She is like this mother, this archetypal mother that is within you as well, this loving mother, because you are an expression of the earth and source. So everything from source is within you as well. So this expression of the mother is within you, and how that expression is going to look and feel and be for you is going to be different than what it is for somebody else. So trust your connection, trust your expression, trust yourself, trust your being. trust your feelings, and know that as you're doing this, you don't have to shift or change, or like if you feel a wound coming up, let's say you feel a wound coming up, or you see a pattern of how you've been manipulating, or you see a pattern of how you have been needy, or you see a pattern of how you have been codependent, or you see a pattern of how you've been controlling, or have you, like whatever's coming up, don't push it down again, because it's so easy to push it down again. Allow it to come up, and from a place of understanding, and if you're judging it, allow those judgments to come as well. Like, don't block anything. Allow everything to rise up as it is, as you're working with your womb. So that is a place to begin. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to have support, I would feel honored and so grateful to help you with this. This is deep work, and this is very beautiful work, and being able to support people in this work is an honor and a privilege, and it's so beautiful, because as one woman rise, all of us rise, and as we women rise, the world rises, and men rises, and everything is rising. Like, the feminine is rising, and she's taking everything with her. So right now I have discounts on both everything that is in the shop and my sessions, and I'm going to make some discounts on my packages as well, because we're in tricky times for many people, and I want this to be accessible. So I have discounts and sales, and the coupon code for sessions is HEAL with big letters, and it's 50% off for like everything, all sessions and everything in the shop. So the coupon code for sessions are HEAL, and the coupon code for the shop is LOVE. So as you apply that code, you get 50% off. And like, reach out to me if you have real financial trouble and you want support anyhow. Like, we can always work something out. I'm very flexible with that. So just reach out. And you can also find more information about all of this in my free ebook that you get when you subscribe to my website. So I will leave a link so that you can find my website. And I will also leave a link to my Facebook community, which is created for sharing and asking for support if you feel in need of that, or just being witnessed and seen, sharing your story, sharing your heart, sharing what is coming through, sharing your work as well. If you have some work that you're doing, you're able to share that work in that group. So I will leave a link to the group as well, and I really hope to see you there if you resonate with my energy, if you resonate with that space. And I really hope that this video gave you some insight into the wounds and how the womb is related to that, and how much is stored there subconsciously, and how this is such a beautiful place of healing and transformation and integration and all of that. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for giving me your energy and your time, and thank you so much for being here. Sending you the big loves, the big hugs, and big kisses. Bye.